listening to Final Frontier News. From the furthest reaches of the universe to the innermost depths of the mind, this is Final Frontier News.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Final Frontier News. We told you we'd be doing more videos, and we have another one. It seems like every day something's popping up with water here, water there, life could be, and habitable planet this. But Dave Rose has just told me about that Saturn has a moon that could perhaps be habitable or have life, or could it be something more like water or hydrogen? You know, what was the situation, Dave?
Well, this story recently broke that NASA announced from a particular mission that they sent out with the Cassini probe is that, and this is the headline that we have from the Mail Online, is alien life could exist within our solar system. NASA reveals Saturn's moon, Enceladus, has the chemical energy for life after hydrogen gas is found pouring into its deep ocean. Now, the translation of that gobbledygook basically translates out to the fact that it has been already detected with multiple space probes that this particular planet, Enceladus, has a rocky core that emits heat, but also has a massive ocean that rests on top of that rocky core. But because of the planet's characteristics, it also has a massive cap on top of that water that's made up of both rock and ice. So we know that that planet has a semi-solid surface. But this Cassini probe did what's called a deep dive into an area very close to the surface, which went through what are, I guess, vapor jets. These vapor jets actually shoot out water from underneath the ice at close to 800 miles per hour.
Oh my God, well, don't be there.
So this probe, the way it was set up, was able to go through that, and from that, they were able to detect that hydrogen was being produced underneath that icy surface, and therefore had a potential to have habitable conditions to host life. Now, here's a big issue I have, is that the headline is sensationalist, and they're building more out of this than actually has been revealed. NASA didn't say that they found new life or that there is a definitive proof that there could be life there on Enceladus. But what they are trying to say is that this information is with what we know is life here on planet Earth under our situations. Now, I think it's a little arrogant of us to say, well, if it's on Earth, it's got to be that way on another planet, because we don't know that for a fact. But it is an interesting occurrence that has come out, and now we know that there is hydrogen being produced from this planet, and it is being shot out through these vapor streams that are going, hugely out into space.
It's pretty amazing.
So it's very intriguing, at least in regards to the search for life that might be similar to ours. But I think maybe we're jumping the gun a little bit in this regard, because we can't assume that the conditions will be absolutely the same as Earth to produce life.
No, yeah, because it's so different. Yeah, you could have a whole planet of just water or a certain hydrogen or whatever else, and it's a whole different situation. And this stuff is firing out. I mean, we could never, like, if you were on the surface, you get blown out into space in one of these areas. It is pretty amazing looking, though. I'm looking at the actual photo that the probe took of the moon, and that's pretty crazy. And, if only we could, you talk about the future, don't you think that the future will be less of, obviously it won't be us traveling into space. We've kind of come to this sort of conclusion, at least for the next 100 years. It doesn't really seem that it will be humans traveling around too much, but that these corporations and these companies and these space agencies would start to get on board with the idea that treating it like a mining sort of situation where
it's a commodity. They're treating it as a commodity, and that's actually already come to pass. There's been a big push from mining companies and other organizations on Earth here to define the rules specifically for mining goods that are in outer space.
Yeah.
And we are going to see more and more of that of the future, specifically because there is going to be the ability to mine a comet or an asteroid, for example, utilizing robotic measures. Any sort of robotic contraptions could land on a asteroid and begin to mine it, send it off into a orbit around that asteroid, and then send that craft back to Earth. There's been already cataloged, we're talking hundreds of trillions of dollars worth of materials in these asteroids that are somewhat fairly close to Earth, and technologically they're attainable. We could capture these things and send them back to Earth, and they contain, for example, trillions of dollars worth of diamonds, of gold, of platinum, of heavy metals, of things that we could actually rare earth minerals that we have here, things that we need like to create the iPads or the iPhones and stuff. Like, we need those materials. There's only a limited supply here on Earth, and these asteroids carry an abundance of it. So there's been a big push towards defining what's legal so these companies can start to go out there. And I mean, we've already got SpaceX that's trying to profit from
well, could you
all
imagine
different sorts of...
Imagine Richard Branson launching a space mission to that moon, and those pockets of water are just shooting out into space. All Richard Branson has to do is vacuum that stuff up from a safe distance, bottle that stuff, and you're selling bottles of moon water for $1,000 a bottle. I mean, like, are you kidding me?
The sad thing is there's definitely...
The sad thing is what?
There's definitely a market for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
People
just...
would probably spend money to drink moon water from a planet they don't even know, and who knows, maybe they'll turn into some sort of like alien and like District 13, I think it was.
Well, it'd be. I'm sure we'd have to study the water first and all that stuff, and maybe you wouldn't even drink it. Maybe you just keep it, But
I'm glad that you brought that topic up, because the fact is, there's movies that talk about this. Life, I believe the movie is called, and it's coming out soon, or it's already out. But
oh, really? Okay.
A crew goes to Mars and thinks that they pick up life, and that life ends up killing them all. And again, we have to consider the fact that we just can't transport anything that we think, that's microscopic, organism.
Yeah.
We can just bring it back home to Earth and expose it to our atmosphere.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, half the population of the 7 billion on Earth are dead.
Yeah,
we can't take those risks.
You don't know what it could do. I mean, you could have you could literally expose it to the oxygen here, and it could flip, and the atoms or whatever, they could change, and all of a sudden you could have sulfur for some reason. There's there's a combination.
Who's to say it's not infectious?
Yeah,
who's to say what it's developed as a protection system for that planet isn't going to interact in our system adversely to where it's going to kill anything is foreign. Everything on this planet is foreign to it.
Well, because too is everything, life on Earth and everything here, and I suppose elements are elements, I guess. So if the same elements, well, this is a really interesting question, and I'm sure maybe a scientist knows this better than we do, or maybe you know better than I do, but elements, to me, at least on Earth, I feel elements are elements, and no matter what, if you find that same element on, this moon, it's going to be the same thing.
In theory, that would be correct, but the problem is, though, that you have to also consider the fact that these planets are much further away than Earth is from the sun. They're also under different conditions than Earth is, whether it be a magnetosphere or a lack thereof. the surface weather and conditions and temperature. So just because a particular mineral is exposed in Earth's atmosphere to a certain condition doesn't mean it's going to react the same way if it's in a different environment altogether, like on this planet Enceladus.
Different gravity, different air
exactly.
mass.
All these things could change the manner that it chemically interacts with our environment. Because although atomically it might be the same, the chemical characteristics that are associated with it probably vary from environment to environment.
You still there? Oh, I think I lost you.
Still here. Am I cutting out?
Yeah, environment to environment. Then I lost you. But yeah, I mean, who's to say there's nitrogen? Yeah, so maybe the first time it's ever been introduced to nitrogen or something like that.
We have to be very careful when it comes to looking for life on other planets, specifically when it comes to the idea of bringing anything back for analyzation. I think that should be out of the question entirely, and if anything, we should be analyzing it there at that location.
Well, what about mining gold and stuff off asteroids? You were just talking about that, and that could be the same.
That's a very good point.
But also, what about we kind of know in a way, because when meteors crash here and someone becomes a millionaire, if a giant rock crashes in your backyard, all of a sudden you find out it's worth $500,000. I mean, people sell that, people use it. I mean, I'm sure that before they're able to sell something like that, I don't know what the protocol is, but once a comet, or a meteorite crashes in the back of your house, and it's the size of a basketball, I'm assuming that most of us run out there, and we just grab it. But wouldn't you want to test that for radiation levels before you just start playing around with it?
Absolutely true. And I mean, I believe there's been a few occasions where there was radioactive elements within what was left of that meteorite.
Right.
And they exposed themselves to that and they got sick because of it. So I absolutely agree with you. We do have to be careful from anything that's from outer space, because another thing that people have spoken about is the fact that life is cosmic, that Earth and other planets are seeded with life from extrasolar activity. So imagine this: if there is life on this Enceladus planet and it could be ejected using these water streams out into space, there's a potential that eventually that might land on a planet and combine with other elements. It may then produce life.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, you could have a moon like this a long ways away that could be shooting out water like this into the space, and it could literally have hit a planet and started to fuel the planet with water.
Well, they call it planet seeding, and this is a theory that is considered, is the fact that it's potentially possible, and it looks probable, that life on Earth only arrived to this level because of it spreading through intergalactic means. And that obviously is one theory, but a lot of the facts seem to back it up.
Well, going back to the real quick, I got two little points I want to touch on. First of all, the meteorite thing is a tough thing because you want to have it so bad. Because if you call the government or you call someone to be like, can you check this for radioactivity? I mean, you risk them confiscating it, I suppose, and then you get no money.
Depends on where you are. I mean,
good point.
In certain places, if it's on your land and you present it for an analyzation, they can't take it from you. It still is in your name.
I guess
a lot of the times organizations will just buy it off you because that's a lot less of a strain on you as an individual. And
right.
They'll take care of, again, all these. They've got the connections with the government to have it tested, all these sorts of things.
They'll come in with the masks and everything and take.
Yep, exactly. But don't approach these things without some sort of protection because you never know. You really don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody, that's a great recommendation. I mean, I know that not a lot of people probably listening to this will ever find one of these things, but if one ever crash landed in your backyard, you were lucky enough for that and not to land in your house and kill you, which it is. Many people have been killed by meteorites. I would say immediately buy a hazmat suit, search the proper precautions, and then perhaps rent out a machine because they have them now. You can even buy them online. I saw one the other day, one of those things that just tests, and it's like a cool gadget out of Ghostbusters or something. It's like one of those high-end metal detector type of things. It's like $5,000 to $10,000. I'm sure there's probably a better one, $20,000, and like it will tell you, it will inspect elements, check for radiation levels, infrared, all that stuff, and you could just do it yourself. You know, if you have some kind of brain, perhaps. But I would recommend renting one of those if you could find a place that rents those, or figure out how to rent one, rather than contact if you don't want the government to come and just take it from you. But you know, obviously, I don't know, but. You know, your luck in the middle of the thing would be gold or something. You know, like it would be like diamonds and gold in the middle, and on the outside was just, you know, we don't know what. You know, so
if you do find one, there are a lot of organizations that are willing to pay a lot of money for them. So at least consider the fact that it is sort of like winning the lottery.
It is, and it's like it's not like when you find one deep in the ground and you're like, wow, you know, I found a meteorite or what looks like, or at least you find metals or diamond elements or whatever, and it's clearly been a meteorite. But by then, you know, chances are it's been there a while, and its radiation levels have dropped. You know what I mean, or moved off. But if you find a fresh one, you know, that lands right behind your house, I mean, so many people I've seen online that do that. They just go right up to them and they grab them and they hold them up and they start taking photos with them on Instagram, and it's like, you know, you might have lung cancer in about 6 months now because of that.
You never know.
Well, thank you guys for listening. I don't know if there's anything else to say about this planet other than it's really wonderful looking, and I hope to get some photos to kind of match this video up, hopefully in like a slideshow type of deal, because it looks great. One of the things that's always tough to do is find the real images, and because you know what I mean, it says like life found on this planet, then you see a beautiful, almost seemingly real image of it, and you're like, is that the photo they took of it? And it's not. It's just a painting or an artist did it. But these photos are real that I'm looking at, and there's 9 of them, it looks like. And, man, they are spectacular. And you can see these almost like geysers shooting out of the moon of Saturn, which is how many – I don't know how many moons Saturn has. Do you know that, Dave? Is there one?
It's more than – I think it's more than 25. Again, like they keep finding more and more moons because a moon can be quite small. And as long as it has a consistent orbit, it actually is considered a moon. So they are technically finding more moons for Saturn, for Jupiter, for Uranus all the time.
Wow. The only moons that I know about that I can think of off the top of my head are like Phobos and Deimos on like Mars, and I think
Mars, yep.
And Mars has more than that too. I
think. I know a few of Jupiter's and a few of Saturn's, but again, they have at least 20 each, and it's hard to keep track.
Yeah, I mean, our own solar system. I mean, the ability that we could have to mine, to grab elements that we'll need for our own planet, and also. I mean, honestly, like, I mean, I know that a lot of people, shit is in chaos, and we can't, you know, we have these, you know, we're bullying ourselves, we have war everywhere, it's just awful. But, you know, you would hope that the people whose cure for, or taste or curiosity for exploration and to continue life, like, despite how we are, despite the wars and the whatever we are, despite all that, it doesn't take away the fact that we still need to search for planets, and we still need to move on, and we need to explore. We need to do this. If an asteroid hits our planet and kills us all, I mean, what was the point in any of this? You know, so the people that say, like, well, we shouldn't be going to space because we should be working on ourselves before that. Well, that's true, but we're always constantly working on many things at once, you know, as humans. Some people are working on feeding their families tomorrow. Some people are working on developing a car. Some people are, you know, there's so many, everybody's working on something different. That's what makes us good. And eventually, you would think everybody working on so many different things to improve life or to survive or whatever we're doing, eventually we show up at the finish line all together at some point. And that's why we do have to just go. And they are, because we've got these photos of the moon and we have, you know, all these things. So despite what's happening here, scientists and humans and individuals and corporations and whoever can do what they can do to get us there, we got to go. We need to start inhabiting other planets at some point, and we certainly want to figure out a way to mine those other planets and to capture those elements, and also to help us out in the future, because you never know. The decision we make to mine something on a moon for an element, water, gold, whatever it is, we could need that element in 300 years, and if we didn't start now, we could get to that 300-year mark and be so far behind that it's too late. But if we're mining at the time or those things. You never know. Perhaps someone comes out with an invention. You look at the computers and the tablets and all the computer chips and the information we use. You said that a minute ago, the computer chips. In the future, we could develop something that you realize runs on gold, or that runs with a element that we're not even aware of. You know what I mean? And we may need more of that element, and that could be something that we have in supply because of the moves we make now. I know I'm trailing off into craziness, but you know what I'm saying about that? It's interesting. The moves, the things we do now towards space could really affect the future.
Absolutely, and it would have been great if there was consistency with the world's space programs, from the 50s and 60s onwards, because right now, if people were cooperating, we really could have bases on other planets. So
yeah. And speaking of that real quick, that kind of lends itself to what we talked about earlier with you never know what's going to happen when you take an element or you mix this water, or what's this element going to be like bringing it to Earth. Because humans, we were raised here in this habitat. Even in this habitat, change our bodies. People that live in Colorado or people that live at a high elevation, so many things happen to the body just off of that. So, I mean, we are so used to our element of, we were created here on this earth with these conditions. The altering of those conditions is unbelievable. Look at the results of people that live on the space station and things like that, even after 2 years. So we are creatures of habit, and everything is very sensitive to any changes. So even like you said, if it's water on an element, if you go to a moon base, who knows what's going to happen to people? Maybe we can't even do it. You know what I mean? Maybe, we live 5 years and would die, or something would happen, our heart would shrink or explode or whatever.
That's why I endorse very much the use of robots and probes that aren't risking human lives when it comes to this sort of thing.
Yeah, and get them out there to mine and bring it back here, because we won't be going out there, but the robots will.
Problem is that going to lead us to a HAL 9000?
Yeah, right, exactly. It's going to go there with everything, you know what I mean? We're going to go there with technology to go to space, with computers and robots to go to space. We're going to go there with computers and robots to be in the home, and we're going to go there with all kinds of things. And we're doing it now. And things like, say Alexa, the device that tells you, plays music and does all these things, she's very smart, but she's using all of and now that our information is free to be tapped into by anybody. Any corporation can sell it and buy it and whatever else. They're using all of our personalities and information and habits to create robotic technology to recommend things to us and to service us. So there's a weirder danger out there than we may be thinking of, that old robots take over or whatever else. That's a story for a show for another day that we'll probably get into, actually. And I hope you guys can leave a comment down below. What do you think? This is Final Frontier News. Please subscribe to us and check out the Patreon account. We'll have some perks and some bonuses coming up there soon, an announcement about that. And if you guys want to contribute to the show or help, feel free to contact us or leave it in the comments down below and let us know. You guys will obviously be funding the show, since YouTube probably won't be. Thank you for subscribing, and we'll see you in the next video.
You're listening to Final Frontier News.